Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. And today we are going to talk about sunscreens. I have been trying out 8 different sunscreens for the entire last couple months, and I definitely have a few thoughts on some of these. So I know summer is like the big time for sunscreen launches. These aren't all new, but these are all new to me, and so I've been testing them out and I wanted to let you guys know my thoughts. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a robotics engineer with a love for all things beauty and makeup related. And with that being said, let's just hop into it. I actually have 9 different sunscreens to talk to you guys about. The first one I want to talk about is the Tula Skincare Protect and Glow Daily Sunscreen Gel Broad Spectrum SPF 30. The first thing I want to mention is that this was sitting in my collection for about a year, just like sitting there, and I hadn't opened it yet, didn't peel the sticker off or anything. This technically expires next month, so that could also be part of the reason why it was like this. But this was super separated when I tried to apply it. I tried mixing it up in the tube as well, but when it came out it was all splotchy and oily, and I think you can see that in the video of me applying it. So I think that I'm slightly biased with this, but this retails for $38. You get 50 mils of product, which is pretty standard among the rest of these sunscreens that I'm going to talk about, and it definitely leaves a glow and there's no white cast. So for me it was like a 2 out of 5 because it was oily and separated. It made me feel a lot more oily like throughout the day than I normally would. And again, that might be because it's a little bit of an older product to me. Like, it's been sitting in my collection for a while, and that's 100% my fault. But I just think there are better out there, especially for $38. This is one of the higher end sunscreens that I have. I just wouldn't recommend it compared to a lot of the other sunscreens in here that I enjoy just a lot more. The next sunscreen I want to talk about is this one from Hero Cosmetics. This is the Force Shield Superlight Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 30. This retails for $20. This is 50 mils, and this is a mineral sunscreen. This does contain zinc oxide, and it's 17.53% zinc oxide, which is pretty good. The Force Shield is a mineral sunscreen, which, you guys, I don't know if I've said this before, but my beef with mineral sunscreens is that they always leave a white cast. This is geared towards acne-prone skin, which is why I purchased it in the first place. This has like a green tint to it. You can't really see it once you blend it out, but it does have a green tint to it, but it does leave a white cast, which is my biggest gripe about this. This is described as a gel cream texture, which I would agree with. I think the texture of it is nice. It's a little bit drier of a texture, so I feel like it's a little bit harder to blend in, but I feel like when I wear this throughout the day, I feel even more oily than I would without it, and I know that I am oily to begin with, so that could just be like normal, but the fact that this has a white cast, it just makes it that much worse. It doesn't have as much of a glow as some of these other sunscreens that I'm going to talk about, which I do appreciate, but I don't know, the white cast just really turns me off. Anything with a white cast, I'm automatically like out. I'm not feeling it. The next sunscreen I want to talk about is this one. This is from Josie Maran. This is the Get Even Sun Milk SPF 33. This retails for $46, but you do get 2 full fluid ounces, whereas both of the other 2 I talked about, you only get 1.7 fluid ounces. So a little bit more product in this one. However, this also has a slight white cast, not as bad as the Hero Cosmetics one, but it does make me feel really oily throughout the day. The texture of this is definitely more emollient. This has a slight scent to it. It smells really weird to me. It's not a pleasant scent. It kind of just smells like fake sunscreen, you know what I mean? This is technically supposed to expire November of next year, but if you look really closely when you pull this out, it's very chunky, and that gives me just weird vibes. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera because it is kind of overexposed. Let me see if I can turn that down. So yeah, I'm not sure how well you could see that, but I don't know. This is also a mineral sunscreen, so again, it does leave a slight white cast. I have zero tolerance for a white cast, and I don't consider myself to be that tan. I think that I am, you know, a pretty like light to medium skin toned person, and just any sort of white cast at all immediately turns me off. And especially since this is $46, I think there are a lot better out there that you don't need to spend this much money on a sunscreen. The next product I have here is very new. This is one of the new products from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Suntouchable All Set for Sun Broad Spectrum SPF 45 Sun Protection and Setting Spray. So this is one of the highest sunscreens SPF levels I have here. The thing about this is that it smells like straight up alcohol when you first apply it. It does fade quickly, and I know that, you know, like a lot of setting sprays do have alcohol, so they do dry, but the scent of this is just like an immediate no for me. There is obviously no white cast. This excited me when I first saw that e.l.f. launched this because I am not the type of person who typically reapplies sunscreen after putting on makeup. I know that's like not the best, don't come for me. But I thought that I could use this to reapply sunscreen over my makeup, and it just, the smell just turns me off so badly. So it's pretty affordable. It retails for $14. You get 2 full fluid ounces of product in here. This is 60 milliliters. Like I said, I cannot stand the scent of rubbing alcohol. I feel like it makes my like skin feel like it's drying out, even though I know it's probably not. I also tried to test this as just like a setting spray. I did a swatch of eyeshadow and sprayed this on there, let it dry, and it doesn't really set the makeup whatsoever, because once the rubbing alcohol dries, you're kind of left with like an oily residue, and that just doesn't dry down. So this had a lot of potential. I think this was great in concept, but in actuality, like, not a fan. I'm just not a fan of this, and even though it is more inexpensive, I just would not recommend it. I would like for people, like brands, to come out with more things similar to this though. I think that would be really nice in terms of like reapplying sunscreen, because I know that I need to be better at that. Moving on to a couple of middle tier sunscreens in my opinion. That's a loose term. These are like 4-star sunscreens out of 5 stars. So the first one I want to talk about is this one from BCL. This is the Kansosan Skincare Moisture Base AQ SPF 42 PA+++. So I have no idea if you can get this in the United States, but this is a sunscreen that I have been trying, so I'm going to talk about it. One of my friends actually went to Japan a couple months ago, and I asked them to bring me back some skincare from Japan, and so this is what they brought me. I really like this. It's a really thin texture. I found this on Stylevana for $21.35. This has 30 milliliters of product in this, so this is only 1 fluid ounce. It blends in super easily, absolutely no white cast. I really like the packaging of this as well. The nozzle is really thin, so you can do like the 3-finger method really easily. You can also just like apply it straight to your face really easily. The texture is so lightweight. It blends in like butter. The only reason why I kind of put this a little bit lower is because you can't really get it. I mean, like I said, I found it on Stylevana, but you know, it's not like a typical sunscreen that you can go to Target or Sephora or Ulta to pick up. So I do really like this. I am definitely going to be using this, and I like that it has a little bit of a higher SPF too. It's SPF 42, and in terms of like affordability, it's not that expensive. It's just kind of harder to get your hands on. So I really like this. I would highly recommend if you can get your hands on it. And yeah, lots of good things in this sunscreen. Also, I think the packaging is just kind of cute. It's just like little itty bitty. It's very flat, and so I feel like it would be nice to like have in my purse at all times. The next sunscreen we're going to talk about is the Laneige Hydro UV Defense Sunscreen SPF 50+. This is slightly thicker than the Kansosan one that I was just talking about, but it still melts super easily and it sinks really easily into the skin. This retails for $30. This is 50 milliliters, so the normal like 1.7 fluid ounces. The texture of this is really lightweight. Like I said, it sinks in really quickly. It has a slight scent. I personally enjoy. It's very like fresh, it's very clean. It's not overly scented at all, but I know that some people don't like fragrances in their skincare at all, so just something to note. This doesn't have any sort of white cast whatsoever, which again is a plus in my book. I also got this at TJ Maxx for a discount, so I think I only paid like around $15 or $16 for this. So, you know, Laneige goes on sale at TJ Maxx a lot. This is technically, so this says it expires in 2024, so I still have a long time to use this. I really like the sunscreen. I would highly recommend, especially if you can find it at a discount at TJ Maxx or something like that. On to my top 3 sunscreens of the video. The least favorite of my favorite 3 is this one from the Inky List. This is the Polyglutamic Acid Dewy Sunscreen SPF 30. This has 50 milliliters in it. So this sunscreen retails for $15. Again, it's SPF 30. It's a gel cream texture. It sinks in really quickly. There's absolutely no oily residue, which again is a huge thing for me because I do tend to have oily skin. It doesn't leave my face feeling oily at all, and it does leave a slight glow, but I definitely wouldn't say dewy. It just feels like a really nice, like normal feeling sunscreen. I will say the packaging is like slightly bulky just because it's very rotund, like that way, like compared to the Laneige sunscreen. I don't know if you can actually tell, but this one's just like a little bit thinner and it feels a little bit nicer. Besides that though, the sunscreen is great. It's super affordable. It's only $15, which is a huge plus in my book. I just really like it. It definitely, again, I wouldn't say it's like super dewy like the name says, but it sinks in really nicely. My makeup goes over top of it really well. I've never had any issues with this pilling. Yeah, it's just really good. And I am a huge fan of a lot of the Inky List products. The fulvic acid brightening cleanser is like one of my all-time favorites from the brand. The next sunscreen here is from Byoma. This is the Byoma Moisturizing Gel Cream SPF 30. So this has 50 milliliters of product. It retails for $19. It is slightly slippy. It's more slippy than the Inky List one in my opinion, but it still blends out super easily. Again, it only retails for $19. Byoma did send this to me, and I have worked with Byoma in the past, but this isn't sponsored by Byoma at all. I just really enjoy the sunscreen. I like the texture of it. There's no scent whatsoever, and one thing I really like about Byoma in general is that they list all of the ingredients and what the ingredients are used for right on the packaging. So like dimethicone is a thickener, which dimethicone is like a type of silicone. Just everything's listed on the packaging, which I really appreciate. It makes me feel like I know exactly what's going on. But I think you guys can tell from my list of sunscreens here that I just tend to prefer chemical sunscreens in general, again because of that white cast and mostly the texture. I feel like a lot of chemical sunscreens have a really nice texture that sinks in really easily compared to like mineral sunscreens that are just a little bit harder to rub in. I really like this. They have a normal moisturizing gel cream that doesn't have SPF in it that I also really like, that I use as like my morning moisturizer. I just think it's really good. It's affordable. You can get it at Target if you want to, so it's really accessible. I believe they also sell this at Ulta if you don't have a Target near you, or if you don't have an Ulta near you, there's a Target. Anyway, I just think it's really accessible. The packaging is fun, but I will say the packaging is pretty bulky. Like I definitely would not take this traveling with me whatsoever, but I do like it, and I like that, I don't know, just all the ingredients are listed. I just really appreciate that in a product, especially for those that are more conscious of what they put on their face, or if you have a lot of like sensitivities. I don't know, it just makes me really happy to see everything listed out in a way that is comprehensible. You guys might be pretty surprised by this because I was surprised by this as well, but my favorite sunscreen out of all of the ones I've tried is this Glossier Invisible Shield Daily Sunscreen Plus. It has broad spectrum SPF 35. It retails for $25, but you only get 30 milliliters. So price per ounce wise, it's one of the most expensive, but the texture of this is just so nice. I like the packaging. It has like a really big nozzle. I don't know. The texture of it is just so lightweight. It sinks in so easily. Absolutely no white cast. It has a slightly citrusy smell, which I don't mind in a sunscreen, and I don't mind in skincare in general, but again, if you have sensitivities to fragrances, maybe avoid this. But it just sinks in so easily. It leaves a really pretty glow as well, and I just really like it. I really like the way it looks on my skin. Again, it's pretty expensive for what it is. Like, I feel like the Byoma one is very similar, not quite as glowy, but very similar in terms of texture. And this one's only $19 for 1.7 fluid ounces, whereas this is $25 for 1 fluid ounce. I know Glossier was pretty inaccessible for a while, but I believe you can get this at Sephora if you would like to. I just really like the texture of it. I like the smell of it. I think it makes putting on sunscreen more enjoyable. I also just really like the packaging. I think the packaging is really cute and sleek. I like the yellow cap. Like I said, it's extremely lightweight. It sinks in really easily. It doesn't make me feel greasy throughout the day, which is also a huge factor because, again, like I said, I do tend to get pretty oily throughout the day, and I find that a lot of like really glowy sunscreens can overemphasize that. Whereas this one, even though it is slightly glowy, I don't think it makes me feel oily throughout the day. What more can I ask for? There's no white cast. I just really love the sunscreen. It's very expensive. Honestly, it would be like a splurge for me to pick this up again just because the Byoma one is so similar and it's so much less expensive. Yeah, these two are definitely my top two favorites. I love these both so much. They both have different purposes. The one thing about the Byoma one is that it's just kind of bulky, so I don't travel with it. But yeah, these are both really great sunscreens. This one is definitely the most accessible and most affordable, one that I absolutely love, and this one is really nice too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have a whole table that I put down in my notes with all my thoughts and feelings about these sunscreens, so if you would like to have like a reference for what I'm saying, then let me know. I can like put that on a Google sheet somewhere or something. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, especially with some of the newer release sunscreens like the Inky List sunscreen and the e.l.f. sunscreen. I hope you guys are having a great day today, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.